Hello there, welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. I'm here today with a 3D Thursday. I have two areas, actually three areas in my crafty space that I like to craft, and quite often I need to move things from one space to the other, and so I really wanted something that would hold all of my adhesives all in one that would be easy for me to transport back and forth. And so I came up with this little, it's kind of hard to show it like this with everything falling. And it basically is a series of boxes set down inside a tray. And I know it's hard to see in the black, so I opted to do the project in a different color for you so that hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But let me move these out of the way. And we're going to use this a little bit later. Isn't this pretty? Isn't it kind of cool? I love it. And the dies that come with it are just adorable. There is scissors, there's a basket, there's an art easel, there's a sewing machine, there's a paper trimmer. Just so many really, really cool projects. All this is great for all the crafters. It's just, I love this set. So, we're going to start, like I said, I'm going to do this in a different color so that hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit better. I have done all of the scoring and trimming, well, not some of the trimming, but I've done all the scoring ahead of time. And I do have these, and I will take pictures and I will have these set up. I will have pictures of these along with all the measurements on my blog. So if you want to replicate this, you can just look in the description of this video, check out my blog post. It will have all those measurements written down. But this is the tray, and you see I've started cutting it. I haven't finished it yet because I wanted to show you. But it is 9 1/4 by 8 1/4. And on the long side, it is scored at 1, 2, 7, and 8. And then on the short side, it's scored at 1, 2, 6 1/4, and 7 1/4. And actually, that should be 7 1/4 and 8 1/4. I will have to change that on my thing here. But I'm going to go ahead and finish. You can see I started trimming on this side, and I'm going to go ahead and trim up the tabs on this end as well. Now, excuse me. All of these, it's actually easier for me to see on this side of it. On this one here, I want to cut, the score line is right here, and I want to cut straight down that score line so that this edge is nice and straight. On this score line, on the other hand, I'm actually going to go to the left of the score down here, and I'm going to make my way up to the score line. So it's kind of a wedge cut out there. And then same thing here, but this time I'm going to go to the right and cut it out like that. So it's not a straight cut on either one of these. It cuts it out just a little bit on either side. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut in straight on that one, angled, and oh, that was incorrect. That was supposed to be straight, not angled. I want that to be straight. Oh well, it's going to be tucked on the inside, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot, but it does look a little nicer if this is a straight cut and not an angled cut. So, angle, straight, straight on this one. On all the others, all of the cuts are angles, but on this one here, oh, I messed up. So, I'm going to go ahead and assemble this one. This one is very simple. Now, you'll notice on these tabs, there is a score line right here. We are not going to fold on that score line. We're only going to fold on the bottom, the base score line there. But on all the others, you're going to score, or not score, but fold on the score line. There we go. I'm not even burnishing these. I'm just giving them a good fold. And then I'm going to come in with my adhesive. And you can use tear and tape if you want. You can use liquid glue. I'm actually just going to use regular Stamp and Seal because the boxes are basically going to keep this thing closed for us. And I'm just putting adhesive on the edge of these 4 flaps. Like that. Oops. Get that to come in there a little bit. So, to assemble, you just fold in these flaps, lift it up. This comes up and over to seal those flaps inside there. Same thing on this side. Pull the flaps in, lift that up, fold it over, they're sealed. And then these ends just get tucked in like this. Sorry, I forgot that alarm was set to go off. Okay, so there's our tray ready to go. And this one here, I have not cut any of the pieces out, but as you can see, this is how we want it to look. Actually, slightly different, I need to change. I found that it folds a little better if this edge here is also trimmed in a little bit, and this one a little bit more of an angle rather than straight. So, let me show you that by cutting this piece. And this one is, I don't even know. This I believe is our 10 by 6. Yes, 10 by 6, which means scored at 2, 4.5, 6.5, and 9. And then this way at 2 inches and 4 inches. So this one here doesn't really matter which way you do it because these are all 2 inches apart. But I just tend to like my tab on this side. So I'm going to cut, again, this is going to be slightly angled here. All of these cuts are going to slightly angle. They're not going to go right on the score line. So my score line is here. I'm going to come in here and work my way down to that point. These do not need to be cut, but I am going to trim off a little sliver off of this edge right here. These, however, do need to be cut with a wedge. And this just makes it easier when you go to fold up your box so that the cardstock isn't bumping into each other and it's not overlapping each other. It makes it for a smoother box. Cut this. And don't worry, most of the others are all already cut and assembled. I just wanted to show you one. I don't think you needed me to repeat it for all 5 boxes. So there is that, as you can see. Now, I used to be taught that when you fold on your score line, you see that it is going down here. It's like indented here and it's raised on this side, and that the raised side should always be on the inside. But I found that when I was assembling this box here, when I did it that way, my cardstock was cracking. So I found that if I actually folded it so that the raised is on the outside, that it wasn't cracking on me. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. And you want to fold these all up. Fold that there. And then with this folded over, you're going to go ahead and fold on each of those score lines. So there's that, and then all you have to do is open this up, and we're gonna let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. We're gonna put adhesive on this edge and this edge right here. And again, I'm just using Stampin' Seal. You could use liquid if you want, you could use tear and tape, you could use Stampin' Seal Plus. There we go. Then on this side here, I'm gonna go ahead and push this down. But this one you do not want to close down yet because you need to come up over here and stick this tab inside there. And basically what I'm trying to make sure is that this score line and this edge are nice and straight together. And then just fold it down like this, rotate it that way, and that's ready to go. Then fold in your bottom tabs. And a little adhesive on the bottom flap. Lift it up. I do like to make sure that your base is squared off, that it's not angled. And you can do that with a grid sheet. I can make sure that my sides are 90 degree there and then set that down. So that is how you assemble the boxes. So I have already assembled this one. These two are done. This little one is done. And I'll give you the measurements. This measurement here is, excuse me, 7 by 5.5, and it's scored at 1.5 inches. Let me get the, here we go. Here we go. This is it. So 7 by 5.5, scored at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6, and then 2 and 4. And then this one here is this piece here, which is 8.5. Let me double check. Yep, 8.5 by 4. And it is scored at 1, 4, 5, and 8. And then 1.5 and 3. This one's not as tall as the others. Make it a little bit easier to get to your, get your glue dots out of there. And then our last box, though, is done slightly differently because it's such a big box. You will need 2 of these for it, and it is 7.5 by 5.5, scored at 1.5 and 6.5, and then scored this way at 2 and 4. And you'll need 2 of those. And so I have those here already cut, ready to go. And I am going to go ahead and do my folding before I put adhesive on. It's easier to do when you don't have stickies getting stuck to things they're not supposed to. There we go. And then I want adhesive on, first off on this edge, all the way top to bottom. Well, not top to bottom, sorry, not down the flap, but from here to up. And then this flap is going to come on here, make sure it's nice and straight. Stick that on there. Now we want to put adhesive along this edge, here, and across here. It really is pretty much the same as the other boxes, it's just that there's 2 of them. Because this was a rather long piece here. And then again, this piece can come all the way down. You can go ahead and flap it down. This one you can flap down this side, but don't close that end yet. Fold it. Bring this tab in. Make sure they're straight. And there we go. Let's go ahead and put this together. And again, I want to try and make sure that this is pretty straight. The more I talk, the more I cough. I haven't been coughing all morning until I started doing this video. There we go. And our last box is finished. And now I wanted to decorate the front of it since I had this cool stamp set. So this piece here is 3 by 5 and it's scored in the middle 1.5 inches. I have already stamped and die cut the emboss machine that's in the stamp set. I want to stamp the life is better when you're crafting. Get that off of there. And get a block. And I think I'm going to still do it in the Misty Moonlight. This paper and that are stamped in, that's stamped in Misty Moonlight. This is a Misty Moonlight paper. I'm just going with a monochrome look here. Oh no, I think I want to go with black. I think I'm going to go black. That might be a little too much. Ooh, I just inked my finger. Black, black, black. Memento. There we go. Let's ink this up. Let me figure out. Oh, I still had ink on my finger. Okay, that's going to be the inside. So, that's going to go here-ish. Let's hope that's straight. Yay! Okay. Go ahead and fold. Fold up. And this one I am going to go ahead and burnish because I want that to really stay down. And put my cool little stamp and emboss machine. Unfortunately, the stamp set does not have any glue or adhesive in the images, or I would definitely have done that instead. Now I want to put some adhesive on. Oh, I should have done that before I stuck the thing on. It's kind of hard to go over the dimensions. Okay, now to put this on, I do have to take these boxes out. And I think I'm going to center so there's an even blue border around it. There we go. and then close that down on it. And there we have a finished little tray to keep all of my adhesives all together. Let's see, I've got glue dots in the front, obviously the Stampin' Seals here, liquid glues, and this one is plenty big enough to fit your dimensionals and your tear and tape. How cool is that? What do you think? So that's it for my 3D Thursday. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, God's love and blessings to you. Bye!